UPRadio.net, the voice of Chester.
Good evening. Welcome to WWJD. What would Josh do? You got your guy, your star host, Joshua Shockley, 2022's best interviewer, as promised. And I try to keep my promises because I know y'all will talk about me like no other. But I love y'all. I got my guy, Aaron McClay here.
What's up, yo? What's up?
What's up? And I got Coach Titus. If y'all checked out the post, y'all already know Chester High officially has a soccer team, y'all, which is major, which is dope, which is incredible. The field is at STEM. I just seen pictures of it. I can't wait to go see it tomorrow. Dude, they dropped a lot of money in that joint. The ground is flat. The grass is clean. We have an official soccer team, so big shout out to Coach Titus.
Appreciate you.
As y'all know, and for those who don't know, WWJD does a word of the week every week, and this week is no different. So just give me a chance to pull it up. This week's word is resilient. A person or animal able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. Resilient. Coach, starting with you, when you hear that word resilience, what comes to mind?
Well, I can honestly say just from my own experience now as being a coach now and have been coaching for quite some time.
The head coach.
And the head coach of this soccer program now, resiliency definitely comes into mind when you think about, we used to have soccer here in Chester. It used to be heavy back in the 80s and the 70s. There was big. There was soccer here. It just, things had, I think, in the late 80s and early 90s when everything was getting different, that kind of made sure that the soccer was gone, and it made sure that it ensured that the kids had less things to do. And you can see the demise of that if you look in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. And so now resiliency would be looking at it in hindsight and saying that, well, there had to be some resilient people to come back and to bring it back to the city and make it make more sense, because until then, it'll sit there and go idle. And it's important to make sure that, the folks that, like ourselves, not only embrace the idea, but we just more so try to change it too. Change the narrative, try to change the culture, try to change the ideas that kids can do other things besides play basketball and football and track.
Right.
I love the fact that, we have those sports. I was Mr. Athlete all day. Like, I loved watching. I was most school spirited, actually, in the high school. I was most school spirited. So I was at everything. I was at anything that anybody had. And I like to see us win.
And that shines through, Coach. Like, right. your aura, your spirit shines through. I could just imagine how much the kids love being around you.
It's fun, but, one of the main things I learned is that, and one of the most important parts about these kids, is they need to see strong black men.
Absolutely.
There's no getting between that. They have to see strong black men in positions that can help them enable themselves to become better students, persons in community, and just really, really great people. You have to try to train that. So in order for us to have that, I have to be that example as well, and making sure that they see a strong black man that's in the community trying to help, and then hopefully, and if we do it the right way, them kids come back and do the same thing that you do.
Absolutely.
You inspire them to embrace the idea that they can do more in the community. They can be a part of the same change that they was already a part of when they were in it, being taught it from the first part of it. So
Absolutely.
being able to teach them, reach them, all that stuff is and even preach to them sometimes. All that stuff comes into connection when you go to coaching these
Absolutely.
kids.
Now, Coach, we're going to get back because I want you to break down some stuff. And, bro, when you hear that word resilience, what does that mean to you?
I think like going through the trials and tribulations and still pushing it, no matter what the situation is. Because you gotta teach people that really don't give up. Like really, like it's easy to say it, but for you to see, like even your parents or somebody older, or maybe even somebody younger, go through it and they still here today. And they still pushing through it, like, you know what I mean? So I look at it like that, more of a struggle thing than actually pushing through anything that you're actually going through and still maintaining and are trying to maintain without giving up. So that's what I get from it.
That's dope. I was talking to Nasir Ali. Shout out to Nasir Ali, young man who's he does a lot of hosting and stuff. And when he told me his age, I was blown away, right? But I was talking to him earlier, and he was talking about the gunshot victims last night, and to the families of those young men, WWJD and everyone at cmpradio.net, we are sending major prayers and major love out to you. We are so sorry that you have to be going through this. No parent should have to experience burying a child. That touches home for me in so many ways. So to the parents, to the mothers, to the fathers, to the aunts, the uncles, the nieces, the nephews, the brothers and the sisters, the friends, the classmates, we are with you. We love you, and we are praying for you, and we are praying that God will continue to lift you up and carry you through this difficult journey. If there's any advice that I could give, grieve. Grieve, don't run from it. It is a part of the process. If there will be days you don't want to say nothing, don't say nothing. There'll be days that you want to stay in the house, stay in the house. There'll be days that you want to sleep, sleep. You have to go through that process. Don't rush it. Don't allow nobody to tell you that, oh, get over it, or come on, it's been a while.
Keep your head up.
It's been 3 years since my son passed, and I'm still in the process of grieving and in recovery. You just learn to deal with it better. Yeah. It doesn't go anywhere. Right. So when I think about the word resilience, I think about our city, how resilient we are. Absolutely. This is not our first time losing children. Right. Sadly, it probably won't be the last, right? Because change is a revolving door, and we're in the process of that, and we can never do enough. Right. It's so much change that has to be. It takes a big community. So to the family and to the loved ones, we are with you. Continue to be resilient. Continue to stand strong. Continue to support community events, because it really does take a village. Absolutely. So getting back, and I just want to say, one of the things that I told Nasir earlier, he said, what do we need, right? He said, I don't know what else, like, what do they need? And I said, first and foremost, they need hope. Mm-hmm. Nobody believes anymore that they could graduate. Nobody believes that they could be a doctor. Nobody believes that they could be a fireman. Nobody believes that.
Some of them think 18 is that's it.
That's
it.
When
we was growing up, the 18 was the number. That's it.
Yeah.
So when we even was old enough, for our 19th birthday, we like, yo, we made it. We lived half of our life already. Right. Like, you know what I mean? So that's how it is. But even now, it's even younger. We talk these kids, these is babies.
15,
these not
14.
Even young men.
These is babies, bro.
They're babies. They ain't get to live life yet. So even when I was growing up, I knew people that never even left off the street, let alone outside of the city,
The hardest thing, man, is to watch a child leave your home and not have that child return. That's hard.
I try to, and this is one of the things in my coaching and even mentoring that I work with the kids is that they sometimes, like, you can look at small nuances of the kid and see that they might have some type of struggle, or they may have hope, but you got to grab that hope a little bit. So let's say, take for instance, I saw one kid, he had a little Ferrari logo on his hoodie. Yeah. I said, you gonna get a Ferrari? He said, yeah, probably. I said, all right, cool, that's good. All right, so what are you gonna do to get that? What are you gonna do? I said, what are you gonna be? What do you want to be? I said, you can be a lot of different things, and you don't necessarily have to be an athlete to get a Ferrari. So you can be a doctor, you can be an engineer. There's so many different things you can do. Right. So what
mechanic, bro?
So what do you think you can do? What do you want to do? What are you good at right now? And are you thinking about that? And if you don't think about it, you got time. Right. So it's almost like you're reinserting something in them. They may not even see it themselves.
Yeah, you put it in his head.
Like you start it. You start the conversation. If I really want a Ferrari, I know I'm gonna have to work for it because I know that's how people get it. The people don't just get it handed to them.
I always say I did a project with my kids one day, and I was teaching an after school program at Coosa, and the time it was like 4:46, right? So I said, let's all be quiet for a minute. We sat there for a minute. 4:47 came by. I said, now I want y'all to understand that 4:46 on this day will never, ever come back again. When they understood that the kid, I'm talking about these are the little kids, they was like, oh, Mr. Josh, that's crazy. That's crazy, Mr. Josh, right? But they understood.
Right. Time.
You have time, but not time to waste. Right. You have time. It's important that our children have hope in living long lives, right? You have time to live, but you don't have time to waste. Right. We don't have time to waste. So
I dove into that a little bit too. I have to piggyback off a little bit.
Yeah.
I like to say, and I use this a lot now. Every moment that's passed is past. You can't get it back. You can't go back to it. Can't change anything about it. You have to move forward. And if you can move forward, and then that goes with even with sometimes when we're dealing with our kids and dealing with grief, you can't change what already happened. If you stepped in a puddle and you got your sneakers all dirty, guess what? It's already happened now. You can get mad about it. And oh man, but you better make sure you watch it where you step at next time. Right.
I was hollering at Pete earlier, right? And I was tired. It's been a long day, right? Now I got to go to another side gig after this. And I was just like, bro, I ain't get a chance to take a nap, man. I'm tired. I got to do this. I got to do that. And he was like, but you doing it. I said, I know, but P, and he's like, all right, but you doing it. Right. I said, all right, P, I get it, right? It's like, what are you frustrating for? You're doing it. Just keep doing it. Just get through. Right. It's like I was wasting that little bit of time, and I was so grateful to have somebody like that to be like, all right, Josh, like, you don't got time to keep wasting on this. You're already doing it. Right. You already did it. Right. And you're already back here, already ready to work. What are we even having this conversation for?
You get to do it. You don't got to do it. You get to do it.
So that was dope. Like that. So, Coach, what was it? Can you just tell us a little bit about the program, what you have coming up? I know you say you got a game tomorrow.
No, we got a game on
Monday.
Is there a pregame or is it
this is our first game as me being head coach. So awesome. They have had a couple of matches like that, but we've been working on the numbers. So our numbers finally got to a point where we could actually compete. So we had to cancel like 2 games beforehand. But since I jumped on, they needed a face to show that from somebody from Chester, kind of showcase the idea that we actually have soccer. Awesome. So now they have a face. Now I've been getting the numbers now, and that goes off word of mouth, telling the kids, get your friends. I don't care if they can't play at all.
Coach, I ran into you outside of Chester High.
I was recruiting.
Yeah, literally, he was recruiting, bro, and it's so funny because I do Safe Corridors. Shout out to Jonathan King and Safe Corridors and all the men and women that you see out there. We have new vests now that officially say Safe Corridors. They super duper dope. So shout out to the men and women who get up every morning to make sure our babies get into school safe. And every afternoon to make sure they get home. So big shout out to Jonathan King and Safe Corridors. I love you, bro. You are doing an incredible service to the community. And it's $25 an hour.
Wow. That's good.
Like, literally, when you talk to him, he tell you, like, no, like, I need to pay my people. Like, I need my people. So it's $25 an hour. Like, that alone is unheard of. Nobody's, come on, like, the regular cross the ground. Shout out to them, too, right? Because they're out there every day. But Hey,
it's necessary.
yeah,
It's
so-
necessary, but yeah, I definitely. And that was the thing that because I noticed you guys.
yeah, and
before
it's funny
and I
because
was-
a lot of people don't know. They don't recognize me until like they're riding by. They be like, "Oh, that's Josh. That's Josh. That's Josh. That's Josh." Right? So it was dope, and I love surprising people saying like, "Yo, coach, I got a show." Like, and this is what I do it for.
What's the recruitment process?
So the good thing is, so like for me, I've had several different ways to recruit, and one was, of course, word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? You go ahead and just say, hey, you know how to play soccer? Have you ever played soccer before? You never played soccer before? Where you about to go right now? Nowhere. Most kids, they be walking around, go home and just stay home, watch TV or something
Now,
like that.
is there a fee attached to nothing? So
You can just come
what
and enjoy.
what about cliques and stuff
So
like
everything
that?
that now I'm working on all that now. So I'm gonna make sure that you have cleats. We already got uniforms and stuff like that for game stuff. But I'm also working for stuff for practice stuff. So all of it is all coming together now as far as things I'm looking for.
Coach said he's gonna get me a jersey, y'all. So when y'all see me rocking my soccer
your name on
jersey, yeah, man, don't
I need one of those
don't
too.
act bougie and nothing like that, man.
Definitely need one. I need
But
one.
I think so that's one of the parts of it. I'm also going to go to going to both the STEM and also to Chester High this week coming up, and I'm going right to the cafeteria, all the lunch periods. I'm gonna set me up a little table. I have some flyers. I'll say, hey, meet me at the field at 3:00 today. We'll make sure you got your physical form, get that submitted. Once we got that going, you're ready to rock and roll. And then we'll get you training, we'll get you learning about soccer. If you don't know nothing about soccer at all, you can learn how to play soccer.
Absolutely.
And then if you're in 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, if you go to any school in Chester, Upland School District, you can come play for the team.
So coach, I would be lying if I told you that we wasn't sitting amongst a star here.
Oh, of course.
My guy, and yeah, don't be looking around, bro. You know who
We
I'm
all
talking
stars.
about,
We all
man. Yeah, we all are stars, right? But every now and then, we got to recognize those of us from our community that, reach a level, man, that you have been able to reach and working with some big names.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Some big names. So big ups to you, bro. And one thing that we big on WWJD is giving out flowers, whether it's physically or verbally, and it stems from statistic. I know y'all heard it all before, but it's a statistic that states that most men don't receive their first bouquet of flowers to their funeral.
I agree.
So this is me giving y'all flowers, man. Y'all are two dope black men from the community, and we love y'all, man. We need more of us. And this is what I love my platform for, continuously bringing us together. Shout out to M Zone, who supplied my shirt today, my official Squad Up shirt. If you haven't checked out his clothing line, it's called Z1 Clothing. As you can see, the quality is,
I can tell.
it's really dope. And I seen a lot of his stuff, his purses and everything that he sells for the women, like quality leather, like you not getting no BS. It's dope. Like he really takes his time with his stuff. So shout out to End Zone. Please go check out Z1 Clothing on Facebook if you haven't checked it out already. And bro, man, tell us how you got into, I want to say photography, but then I want to say videography. I want to say everything, bro. Like, how did you get into that?
Photography. I got into photography in videography about 18 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm old, but
Mature.
yeah, mature.
You a vet.
Me and my friends, we used to rap and stuff. I used to go by the name of Braggs the Baller, so we used to rap and stuff. So we actually needed marketing, and as far as videos and music videos back then. And back then, nobody wasn't doing music videos and pictures back then, like other than the big, huge celebrities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh man. But we did find somebody in Jersey, but the budget was like $1,200 a video, $1,400 a video, because that's how much videos was worth back then. So after I realized how to do it, and then we started doing it ourselves, basically.
That's dope, bro. And what got you here though to this level? Like, what was it that kept you going? Was it ever a time that you felt like, man, it's not working out?
Nah, it was never a time. It was more of the consistency in traveling and seeing the world. That's what got me going. Networking with, networking with a lot of people, because it actually took me in order to actually lead a state to actually build up that momentum and bumping into certain people, and then certain people loving your work for what it is, not for who you are.
I'm glad that you said that, because one thing I want all our people to know is that, we love Chester, right? We love our community.
Right.
And I love the fact that you are able to talk about, I had to step out of here, because sometimes home could be one of the hardest places to grow, right? It's like when you plant that seed in that little pot, you eventually got to take it out of there and replant it into a bigger pot, because those roots will continue to grow. And if you don't replant it, it'll die.
It'll die, yeah.
So we don't be afraid to step out. Don't be afraid to replant yourself. In fact, it's imperative. You have to. You have to replant yourself, because your roots will continue to grow, and you never want to choke your roots off. You never want to do that. So big ups to you, bro, for bringing it back, and I'm glad that you brought that up. Drop some of them names for us, bro. Let the people know who you've been working with.
I work with Cardi B. I work with Chris Brown. Work with King Vine. I'm probably gonna miss a lot of names. Khaled, not DJ Khaled, but the singer Khaled, Marshmello, Papoose, Remy Ma.
Shameless.
I know
name
when we
dropping.
forgetting
Yes.
names. I just
Anybody
did.
local?
But it's so
Dream
many of them.
recently. Just did Dream Doll recently. Who was right before Dream Doll? I don't know. It's just so many of them, so I'm gonna miss a lot of names. So it's just like so many of them.
How is it working with
I actually
stars?
worked with Track Baby too before she. No, Track Baby. That's her
I heard that
Instagram
name. Yeah, I heard that
she
name.
was like the first NFL woman that get like a multi-million-dollar contract. I worked with her years ago.
Wait, was she the kicker or something like
I
that?
think she was like the running back or something. This was years ago, because I used to do clothing too. My clothing used to be Fine Focus clothing. So I used to send the clothes to her, and she used to wear my stuff before she became who she was.
Wow, that's dope. How is it working with like the Cardi B's and all? Is it high sedity? Is it
Nah, it's easy. It's easy. It's just like me and you.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if I'm talking to you like that, they're gonna talk to you like that. They don't look like the people that I work with don't look like that. But I have heard from other celebrities how they bougie. They might talk to you some type of way, but nah, we ain't here. We anywhere we want to be. If they want to send us here, they want to send us here, and they treat us like VIP.
That's
well,
dope.
they treat me like VIP, and the people that I work with, we get
That's
treated
dope.
like VIP.
I was doing security one time on a set of Mayor of Eastwood, and I had a chance to the one that played on Titanic, like she's the star of that show. She plays a detective, right? And I had a chance. One day I was tasked with just walking her around. Like I had to follow her. I was her detail. And everybody was asking me the same question, like, how was she? How was she? Dude, she was so dope, so down to earth. Like, are you okay? You hungry? You want something to eat?
yeah.
Let's go get something to drink. And it was like, all right, but it was so dope. So I
Because they
can only
not used to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you talking to them regular, they going like, oh, this is a breath of fresh air. I could talk to somebody regular. They don't want me for nothing. They don't want no pictures with me.
Yep.
Because most of the people that I name, I don't have no pictures with them. I have no selfies with them or nothing, but they have them in my lens. I have them on my memory card. They on my videos, but I don't ask for much for them.
That's
just
dope.
They're robbing for them.
Would you agree that it's probably sometimes too how you guys you transfer the energy? If
Yeah.
you keep positive energy. If you because sometimes some people get starstruck and then people get taken aback by that because they don't really want to be. They just want to be treated like a normal human being.
Right.
They don't want to be treated like what I'm saying, like you. Oh my God, I'm so happy. I'm so honored. Just treat them like a normal person. Transfer the energy back because. In the day, they're still a person just like you.
At the end of the day, I still salute them for who they is. I might walk in the room like, yo, I'm a fan of yours, and then we're going to we're going to get to work. You know what I mean? Because if you're too starstruck, you're not paying attention to the focus of your job.
How much has your passion for what you do played a part in you surviving for, what you say, 17 years?
18.
18 years?
Whew. The passion was crazy because sometimes it's like you got bills and stuff to pay.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's like, I did like a lot of networking too, like far as networking shooting without getting paid. But them networking shooting and not getting paid later on leading me to $10,000, maybe $15,000. Like, you know what I mean? Or I know somebody that got it, Aaron, can you come do this?
Yeah.
Like, all right, cool. Like, cool. And they put me onto somebody, then they put me onto somebody, and it's continuously rolling like that. Because a lot of people think like, oh, if I ain't getting paid, I ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's who you doing it for
Exactly.
that could link you into the bigger rooms.
I'm so glad you said that, bro. It's motivation for me because I'm in that stage, right? And a lot of people think, but they look at me like, oh man, he interviewed such and such, such and such, such and such. I don't ask for nothing, but the connections, bro.
You got to build that. You got to build
The
relationships.
people that I have had the opportunity to sit down with and interview, and all my interviews are set up to have an intimate relationship.
Right.
These are a lot of them, bro. I'm talking to them every day still after we leave here. And now it's like being out in the community. I'm planning a trip to take 20 children and 5 adults to Rutgers University, bro, with no money.
Wow.
Just because I made certain connections,
Right.
and I was able to call, and it was a good cost, and they was able to make, all right, we got you, transportation covered. I reached out to Will Morgan, you know what I mean? Got you. I'll call you back in 4 minutes. I'll call you back in 5. Dude called me back in like 3 minutes. Josh, we got you.
Right.
You know what I mean? Reached out to Dave Galouche. Dave, I want to supply breakfast.
And those
Got
same
you.
type of people, they want you, like, they don't look down on you. Even the people that's up like this, I'm
Yeah.
around multi-millionaires and billionaires, and they don't talk like normal. They don't talk like you would think it's somebody that get up and like, yeah, I'm going to get up here and talk down on. They don't talk like that. They don't even bring up money.
Nah.
You know what I mean? You know what they tell me? They're like, I want you to have this experience.
Yeah.
Yo, meet me at the Clearport. Clearport to what? We ready to hop on the jet.
Yeah.
I want you to have this experience.
Yeah.
The airport's backed up.
And that's priceless.
Like stuff like that.
Experience
Oh, when
you
you land, what kind of car you want? You want the Rolls Royce? You want the, what's the name? I'm riding in the Cadillac truck. But what y'all want? Y'all want the Rolls Royce? Y'all want the Bentley? What y'all want? When I land, that's the type of people I deal with. They don't worry about that material stuff, but they got it and they want to make you feel as comfortable.
And
as
that's
possible.
dope, bro.
I
And
wanted
that's
to jump into what you were saying just now,
Yep.
because with that trip to Rutgers, I also work with the Amachi program over at City Hall as well. So I'm directly in contact with all those folks a lot of times too.
Yeah.
So it's with mentoring kids with antisocial behavior, gun violence, and incarceration. So I'm involved in that directly, hand in. So that there's a lot of things that I know that after we even finish talking about this here, as far as your trip is concerned, and trying to come up with more things like that, we can definitely help.
Coach, I got 5 seats for you if you want to go. It's on the 24th. It's a Saturday.
I'm going.
If you want to bring,
As long as we ain't got no soccer game, I'm going.
yeah, bring 5 kids. I got 5 tickets for you.
I can definitely, I just because not only that, because it gives the kids like
Y'all heard it here first. I'm giving
like
Coach.
experience.
I'm
Soccer
giving
players.
Coach 5 tickets.
5 tickets.
I know I got Amino Guns bringing some people. I got George
Shout out to
Mink.
Amino Guns.
Yeah, shout out to Amino Guns. Shout out to George Mink. I got him bringing some people. Shout out to Principal Brown. I got him bringing some people. And shout out to Deshanta Campbell, D-Camp. She's going to be representing me. That is one of my best friends in the whole world, one of the loves of my life. I won't be able to make it, actually. I have a training that day. I just didn't want our children to miss that opportunity because it's not about me. It's about them. But she will be there to represent me, and I will be there to see them off in the morning. And like I said, Dave Galouche will be providing breakfast for the kids. So as everybody get on the bus, they'll have a breakfast sandwich and something to drink. He'll be there also that morning. So big shout out to Dave Galouche. Big shout out to Will Morgan. They are 2 men who I literally picked up the phone and immediately they was like, yo, I got you. And peep game, it's a Democrat and a Republican.
So what does that matter most of the time?
Yeah, it's
Does
like
it
one
really
thing I
serve
love
purpose?
about those relationships, like we don't get into that. Everybody that deals with me knows, like, yo, I don't see that. I don't see no
don't see
Democrat.
color.
I
I
don't
see
see
you.
Republican.
Probably
I don't
none of
see
that.
color. I see you. I see you as a person. If you a good man, you a good woman. That's who I want to be in line with. We got enough of divide
Division.
in the
Right,
world
right,
now. They're
right.
constantly dividing us
Right.
through social media, right? We got enough of that. All Democrat, Republican, black, white, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, all lives matter, police lives matter. Everybody matters.
Right. I think
At WWJD, everybody matters.
a lot of times they make that convoluted. They make it very difficult for everybody because of that division. Like sometimes, like you saw in the past, like you'll see the division just in Chester, and in particular, especially with politics about the different sides. Now, when I first got back here from college, it was ran by Republicans.
Yeah.
Everything was ran by Republicans.
Yeah.
And then I started working over at City Hall then, but I was working with another mentoring program then, Chester Powell. I was working with Chester Powell. And that was, I saw a lot of things working with that, and then I seen the progression of how it went from, Republicans to Democrats, and then the differences in it and the divisions in it. Right. And I said, only thing I want to do when I come here and work is make sure I come to work. I don't really care about what color,
What's
what side.
going on,
Like
right?
that. I just want to make sure stuff gets
Right.
getting done not for me, but for the young people, because these are the people that are going to benefit from it more than anybody else. True. Yeah, I'm not like the different things they're having. I'm not going there playing these games. I might jump into a kickball game here and there or something like that, but it's never really something that I'm supposed to be benefiting from. to give people and provide opportunities for people to do other things that are much more available and fun for them to do. So, division is one of the things that we've had for too long. We can't get away from it, unfortunately.
Right.
But we can kind of modify it a little bit and try to keep ourselves away from it.
Giving our children that hope again. We all human. I tell people all the time, if you go into that emergency room, right, and you having a heart attack, that procedure is the same.
Right.
That procedure is going to be the same. It doesn't matter if you black, white, Chinese. When that heart surgeon comes in and they got to perform open heart surgery, the procedure is the same.
Right.
The structure of that procedure is the same. Yep. It doesn't have any color. And big shout out to Carol Kazim, running for state rep. Anybody that knows I'm supporting her. I want her to win. I will be officially hosting her the virtual side of her event, her fundraising event, which is happening on the 24th from 5:15 p.m. to 6:15 p.m. Well, virtually, that's the virtual part, from 5:15 to 6:15. So come check me out. I'll be live, rocking out with Carol Kazim. Shout out to Carol Kazim. Thank you so much for all your love and your work and your boots on the ground. Like, she's one person. Like I said, when you see the person, right, she's everywhere. She like literally in her community. And she's one of us. Like, I see her dropping the kids off to school, as well as seeing her handling business, which
That's awesome.
Carol, I think it's Carol handling mine, Kazim. Yeah, right? So she's out there handling her business. So shout out to her. Bro, was there ever a time, that you felt like giving up, like during those times when you was grinding, right? When you was like, I know I gotta make these connections, right? And those connections are priceless. But was there ever a time where you felt like, man, maybe I need to step back from this. Maybe I need to do something different?
Oh, never.
That's dope.
Never, because I was multi-talented, so it wasn't like, even with me, like during the pandemic. So what people don't realize, since 13, I was creating websites and stuff. Since they had AOL, when you had to plug your telephone cord to the while everybody was outside, I was learning how to actually make websites. And around that time, I was even looking at a Walmart. They call it hacking now, but looking at, not Walmart, Kmart was around that time. And I would figure out, like, dang, how Kmart got this website. And I will find out how the resources and all the coding, what they got now, and break down the coding just by reading the coding at 13.
Wow.
So from there, I'm like, oh, this what this mean. I was able to break down stuff and make my own coding.
So for the children, for the young bucks and the young women that's listening, the young kings and the queens that's listening, how important would you say it is being yourself and sticking to what you believe in? Because that's dope, bro.
Yeah, around that time. Whew.
Because I know it was hard.
Rappers wasn't even cool.
Yeah.
Being a rapper wasn't cool. Yeah. So imagine being a cameraman around that time. It wasn't no cameraman. It was a few of them, but it wasn't. We might have K Hunt and Dev. Shout out to Devin. Yeah. He showed me some tools too. I can't take that credit from him. So he showed me a few things too. So it was around. Just Devin really was the only cameraman around at that time.
And I hear everybody mention him, man. Shout out to Kev. Yes, God, Kev, because everybody mentions him, bro.
Yeah, shout out to Kev. Kev came after like all of us.
Yeah.
So it was like Kev, and then you got the Mr. Businesses, you got the Quandox,
and everybody else.
Shout out to all the cameramen.
Yeah, shout out to all the cameramen. Shout out to all the cameramen.
I don't want him to lose that out, Kane, everybody. So
it's dope because you could tell that it's an industry. It's not a lot of y'all, but it's enough of y'all that everybody's doing their thing.
It made a culture, like, I mean, so Chester was able to be seen. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Not even just Chester, just people was able to take their videos or take their pictures and go elsewhere with them, maybe magazines or maybe across the world, and inspire people, and it helps people businesses and stuff like that. So it actually kind of built a culture. And here, like, this is being filmed. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This wasn't around back then. You know what I'm saying? It was just audio. You get what I'm saying? So everything is being filmed. So it actually built a culture of what's going on.
Always laughing. I tell people,
that's how I look
man,
at it.
If somebody would have told me when I was a young boy that I'd be doing this, I'd have wanted to rumble. Like, I'd have thought that was my like, for real.
It wasn't cool.
Yeah, it wasn't cool. It was like my life was so different then, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm so blessed and grateful. My new thing now, man, is that it wasn't raining when Noah built that ark.
Right.
And everybody thought he was crazy.
Right.
Everybody, they talked to him dirty. Oh, he crazy, but he kept building that art. Mm-hmm. And nor did he know how to speak animal, but God still brought everything 2 by 2. Right. So if you keep building your art, if you keep listening to God, if you stay true to who you are, he gonna bring everything that's supposed to be there right to you. Right. You don't gotta do nothing. That's what I'm experiencing right now. Right. That the people that I'm talking to every day now, God just brought them into my life. Look how many
times we bumped into each other after we met each other. We ran into each other one time. We bumped into each other 3 times.
And God just...
C's did the same thing. Shout out to C's, too. I bumped into C's 3 times after I met him. And in 3-day time stretch, like, boom, boom, boom. We like, yo, we just keep running into each other.
Isn't that amazing how God works, bro?
Yeah.
Even Coach, I'm out there doing safe corridors. You had no idea that I was the host of WWJD, but here we are.
That's how it works.
And it's so dope.
I can definitely piggyback off of that a little bit because ever since I started with the whole idea of soccer, and this is over a year ago, it was like, all right, I said, I had to commit. I said, I wanted to make a commitment to this idea. I said, I want to try something different because I know that it's available and there's funding for it and there's a lot of different opportunities. And then as soon as I got myself involved with it, immediately after I started getting myself involved with it, all these doors and opportunities started opening up for the kids, for soccer in particular. Wow. So it came from not just doing one thing with just coaching soccer, but now I'm providing meals for these kids. I'm getting book bags and these book bags are all types of good stuff for these kids for Christmas time. Yeah. And I will pack my car up with 70, 80 book bags with all this stuff, supplies and stuff for these kids. And then I'm taking pictures. I was taking selfies just to show my boss that this is what my car looks like right now currently as I'm doing all this work. And it became better and better and better. And to the point now where as though I'm just continually growing this process to now I'm the head coach for the high school team.
And what is the name of our high school soccer team?
Chester High Clippers.
Chester High Clippers soccer team.
Soccer team? Okay, so everything Clippers.
Yeah. We still with
so it's still black and orange.
Yep, black and orange and everything.
I definitely want them jerseys.
And when is their first game, Coach?
We got a game on Monday, 3:30. I think. I believe the time is 3:30 at STEM, and we play against Penwood.
So listen,
I definitely want to show up.
To all the WWJD fans, to all the community, to my followers, to the people that are watching right now, let's make this big. Definitely. Let's make Chester Clippers soccer team
first game
huge. First game Monday, we need it packed. Yeah. WWJD is going to be in the building. I'm going to be live, so you'll have a chance to be on the radio. Let's really make this big. Let's make this so big, so loud that everybody in the surrounding states in the tri-state area has to figure out what's happening at that field at STEM.
I'll tell you like this, and it's going to be one or two things that's going to happen. You're either going to be proactive or you'll be reactive. If you're proactive, you'll be there and you'll come check us out. And you want to see the beginning phases of it. If you're reactive, you'll wait till you'll see us start winning and we start busting everybody's tail. And then you're like, oh, well, I knew they was going to be pretty or do something. Well, they got the guy coach over there. But no, it's like one of them things where I can see the vision already. And it's not like we got like kids that's trash.
Yeah, we got
some athletes out. I'm talking about these kids. And it blew my mind. I was like, yo, because I was like, where you guys even play at? I was like, where you guys been playing at? Because they ain't like they've been on some teams around here, but they just, some of them just pick it up around their families.
I told Coach before the show started, I want to be the youth motivational coach for our soccer team. So I'm plugging it in for the bosses that's listening. Right. So, right here.
But those kind of things, like it's necessary to keep, not just have one entity. Like you can't just have one coach and then a bunch of people that are unrecognizable faces. You want a bunch of recognizable faces, so that way it's not just one person. They say it all the time. There's no I in team.
Absolutely.
Because it could be me. I could just be the guy and say I'm the guy from Chester trying to do it all. But I don't want to be the guy to do it all.
Exactly.
I'd rather have a team of people that all committed to the same kind of conversations that we've had already. Right. And let these
until they bring me on officially, Coach, I will be there, still motivating our youth. I'm still gonna come out and support our soccer team. This is dope. This is amazing.
It's so fun. It's interesting because like today like every practice we've had so far has gotten better and better.
Coach, it's just something that you always seen yourself doing? How did you get into soccer?
So I've coached before. I've coached at Chester in a number of different programs. I coached football for a couple of years, and I also coached track and field.
Okay.
And that was like my probably a couple years back, maybe about 5, maybe 7, 8 years ago.
I used to be able to run real fast when I was like 4.
And I ran track all through high school and college. Okay. So it was like one of them things where, you know, getting back into coaching, I always wanted to. Football was one of my things I wanted to get back into, but finding the time for it was always like a challenge for me in the last couple of years. Okay. Once I got some more freed up time, I said, all right, well, what is it next? Like, what's next that's needed? And then I found somebody that was looking for it. Stephen Roots had mentioned it. Shout out to Councilman Stephen Roots.
Shout out to Stephen McKev. I just interviewed him for our documentary. The same day I interviewed Will and went live, I had interviewed him the hour before that.
So he made a mention about, you know, a little over almost 2 year and a half ago about soccer and seeing if there's he put it on his blog.
He's a genius. He's super duper intelligent.
As he put that on, I said, well, how hard could it be? And in the coaching, and one of the main things I had to think about was like, what am I teaching these kids? What's the main thing I can teach them? I said, I can teach them how to run. I can teach them how to kick the ball. That's all I need to do for soccer right now.
Yeah.
I said, once I get into that, I'll get into the rest of the nuances of it. But because, like, of course, discipline, of course, you know, understanding, of course, respect.
Fundamentals.
The basic fundamentals. I said that part will be easy for me. But the main part, it was like, I said, I'm teaching boys and girls how to run. Because if anything else, if we got athletes, we're going to probably outrun everybody anyway. And then we can kick the hell out of the ball. And guess what? Now we got a team. And so it's evolved from that part. And then also I went through some trainings. I just came back from D.C. In August for a training with the United States Soccer Foundation.
Wow.
It was completely funded through the U.S. Soccer Foundation. So they sent me and one other person from Chester down to D.C., go through the whole training of 8-hour, 9-hour trainings per day for a week straight. So every day we had to be there at 7:30 in the morning. Don't be done till 5:30 in the evening. We went through rigorous training. We out in the field in the middle of summertime.
So in other words, you let them know you official coach.
Yeah, I'm official teacher. Yeah, I'm official teacher.
Right.
So I jumped in there and I made sure I learned all the nuances of teaching and coaching soccer. So that way, once I bring it back to Chester, I don't look like no idiot. I look like somebody that actually knows what he's talking about.
So not only do we have a soccer team, but our coach is official. Like, this is dope. And our coach is from Chester.
And that was the problem they were dealing with. They was dealing with that for a couple of years now. The coaches that they had for a couple of years, and even with we working with the U.S. Soccer Foundation and also working with now Chester High. That one of the main things that he was having an issue with was the fact that, the coaches weren't from Chester.
So you think they couldn't understand the kids?
No, I mean, maybe. I'm not going to discredit anybody for not knowing the kids, but if you're not from here, like some of the coaches there, they were like,
I would say that in any inner city.
Yeah.
It's always good to have somebody from that city. The reason being is because most of the children from our inner cities are broken in some type of way, whether it's a broken home, whether it's, a trauma, abuse, whether it's verbal abuse. A lot of times we hear abuse, right, and we think physical. Right. No. Truth. Telling your child, I fucking hate you, or set the fuck down. That's crazy. Verbal abuse. That's trauma. And I always say when I was teaching, right, it's like reentry. It's kind of the same thing because I did reentry for years. And when I came into teaching, that was one of the things that helped me. And at first it didn't make sense, right? How could reentry help me, right? But when you think about it, if a kid is at home and mom and dad, not abusive, right? But mom and dad yells up and down the stairs. They always yelling in the house, hey, come do this and come do that and do this and do that, right? And then they come to school and they're the loudest person in the class.
Mm-hmm. All the time.
I see that.
Most of the time, if a teacher isn't familiar with what's happening or with psychology and stuff like that, they just think, oh, he has ADHD. He's just too hype. He's too loud.
Then you go to home to the family, they all loud. Everybody yelling.
Without a doubt, right? So unless you know to
my
ask
family just loud, like
So unless you know to ask these type of questions, you really he doesn't have ADHD. Mom and dad yells up and down the stairs all day, right? So it sounds like he learned how to whisper on a helicopter, right? He comes to class, he's the loudest person, but that's why, because he's used to having to yell.
Right.
That's true. And it's the same thing. A lot of the stuff, it happens at home,
Starts at home.
Yeah, so big shout out to you, Coach. This is super dope. And bro, for all the young bulls and all the young queens, I don't want to get into call them young bulls because they're young kings and queens, right? Young scholars. As we like to say, as safe corridors, right? When we greet them in the morning, we like to say, good morning, scholars. Okay. For those who are watching, what would be what are some of the steps that they would have to take to get into this type of stuff, get into your line of work that you're in?
Oh, just learning. What, like photography or
Yep.
videography? Just learning and wanting to learn. You got to have some type of hunger to it. Like,
And let me ask you this: what's the difference? Can you break that down to us? Photography and videography.
Photography is pictures. Videography is still pictures, but it's pictures in frames. So when you hear people say 24 frames per second, that's 24 pictures per second. When you hear people say 60 frames per second, that's 60 pictures in 1 second. So a lot of people don't know that. Videography is nothing but pictures crammed into one. I spit it like this. Remember the books that we used to draw the stick figures with back in the day?
Yeah.
Back and forth, and you want to make a story, then you want to go like that.
Yeah.
That's videography. It's just a bunch of pictures.
Nice.
So
Creating a movie.
Yeah, creating a movement. Like all the old Disney films and stuff that was how they was created, through pages. They put them on a thing and make it a video. Now it's a Walt Disney movie that lasts forever. So it's like that's the difference between photography and videography. So you just gotta want to learn. Like you could never know everything. Every day, I don't know everything. I've been doing it for 18 years.
I got a question. So as far as that's concerned, what about as far as like that your eye that you have to have? Because see, I've done photography before, but I never considered myself a photographer. You know what I'm saying? I even had a photography class when I first came back to Chester with Chester Powell. And so I wasn't really talented. I can't say I wasn't talented.
You can't say you wasn't talented.
I just didn't. How do you differentiate your eye into how to make something become like art, so to speak? Because that's usually 9 times out of 10 it comes across as art.
Angles in the creativity, basically. Yeah. Like everybody have a different eye.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you can't even say like I know photographers that could pick up a camera that was made probably like in 1972 that could outshoot me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Or they could pick up a iPhone and they could outshoot anybody that's actually shooting big time with red cameras.
Wow.
And that comes from the eye again.
That comes from the eye, and that comes from studying the settings and knowing what you're actually doing, understanding the settings, understanding the ISO, understanding the shutter speed, understanding the f-stop. It's like when you say these type of things, like person that pick up the camera, they're like, what's an f-stop?
Right.
What's an ISO? Like,
what
you know
are
what
they?
ISO is? Do you know what f-stop is?
Yeah, what are they?
You know
Break them down
speed
for
is?
us.
Well, the shutter speed is basically, if you slow down your shutter speed, well, my camera go from anywhere from 5 to all the way to 16,000. But the shutter speed, basically. So you see my hand moving like this, right? That's the shutter speed. You see how that's crazy how you can see it look like the Matrix, right? You probably never even noticed that until today, right?
Yeah.
That's the shutter speed. But if I speed up my shutter speed on my camera, you're not going to see this wave no more. It's just going to be a straight hand. That's what you're going to see. That visibility is going to be going. Or if y'all ever look on the highway, or if y'all ever see like a picture of the car streaking, and got the long light all the way to the highway and the buildings is standing still, that's all still the shutter speed, because the shutter speed was set to low. So when it's set to low, it's going to leave that shadow behind it. The f-stop brings in light. That's the f-stop. It brings a light on your camera. So right here, we'll be able to see them. So if I put in like one f-stop, let's go with you since you're the closest to me. So if I bring in one f-stop, I'll be able to catch you right here, right? Anything else that's behind you is going to be blurry. But more and more I move up the f-stop, the more and more the camera catches behind you. So that's why you see sometimes you see a picture and it's blurry. Like, why is this picture blurry? It's blurry because they're now moving up their f-stop. You get what I'm saying? And the ISO brings up the lighting inside the camera. Now, you don't want to bring it up too high. I would say the max high, it depends on what camera you got. If you got like a real cheap camera, I would say like 800 is the highest you ever want to put your ISO. If not, you're going to get the noise. You ever see a picture with a bunch of noise and stuff in there?
Yeah.
So that's how you get the noise. So you want to bring up your ISO. And if you get a lot of noise, you want to bring down your ISO. The cameras that I got, my ISO could go way higher than 800.
Well, you
So mainly, really, to be honest with you, if anybody out there that want to know photography, I'm teaching photography inside my studio. I have a studio in Chester on 4th Street.
Please shoot out your address to your studio.
2300 4th Street at the Marketplace at the Cat Center. I'm teaching everybody photography. If y'all want to come through, photography,
is there a price attached to
editing. Not for your first class.
Wow.
If you want to go on farther, I put it out there already. You can know the lightings and everything, but nobody jumped to it. Like,
listen,
this is a trade. I got people that's going to school right now spending 20,
let me ask you this:
30,000.
Can I bring a group of young bucks there for a first date? Sure can.
So
This is. I love
And
this.
it's right
This
in the
is
city. It's a trade.
this is what we about. This is what we do, y'all. Like this is dope. So y'all heard it here. DM me. Let's get this ball rolling. If y'all want y'all kids to go and get a free class just to see get that feel
And we
of
talked
something
about
new.
photography, videography. If they want to know how to fly the drones, I got drones and everything. So
Nice. I'm coming to that, John.
Chester really has all the right pieces, bro.
yeah, it's about the resources and reaching out. I put it out there. Nobody jump onto it.
I think I'm gonna start a resource blog. I think I'm gonna start a even though cmpradio.net, right? We are the foundation for the resources, right? I tell people all the time, like DM us. Like if you having a child that's acting out, if you having trouble, with food, anything like that. I've been posting hashtag City Connector for a reason. I've interviewed most of them, right? And that's the dope part about being in this having this platform and being in a position that I'm in now is because I have that ability to reach out directly to those resources. So please, if you need any of these resources, if you need to get in touch with the coach, if you need to get in touch with Aaron, reach out to me, DM me, let me know. I'm an open book. Everybody knows me. Like, come on, like, holla at us. Like, this is it. We have all the right pieces, but until we stop taking screenshots of the bigger picture and actually have one big picture, we're never going to get there. And I used as an example last week, like, instead of having one book bag 10 different book bag giveaways, we could have had one and service thousands of children in our community instead of having, oh, you service 200, I service 200. Hey, I got one too. And let's get Memorial Park,
Everybody.
Chester Park. We could have shut the stadium down.
How about that?
Like, we got a whole stadium. So,
Or you just did the waterfront in general. Come down the waterfront. We got all the book bags here. We got everything. Everybody together. It don't got to be separate.
absolutely. So,
vibe.
Chester, we have all the right pieces.
Right.
This is the connection right here. DM. Reach out to cmpradio.net. We know a lot of people. We know everybody pretty much. It's the radio station. It's the station.
Right.
Like, seriously. Reach out to us. Let us know what you need. We will do our absolute best to guide you in the right direction. Like, that's what it's about. Community. We are here. We want to be here. I always tell my kids after I'm done teaching, I'm like, now. You can't walk out of this classroom. You can't walk off of this live. You can't look at this live. You can't watch it and walk away and say, well, I don't know where to look I don't know where to look for help. Right. I don't know who to call.
Right.
Mental health, education, anything, reach out. We are connected to everyone, and we can put you in the right direction. I co-host a show with Dr. Margot Lewis Josh. She's a psychotherapist. Like, I call Out in the Open with Dr. Josh. She's officially a part of our cmpradio.net family. So we are very well connected. Like, please reach out to us for anything. Thank y'all.
Real quick, we have a lot of different resources with just in the conversation with soccer by itself now. When it comes down to the U.S. Soccer Foundation, when it comes down to Chester High Soccer, and a couple other entities that we have that's in Chester City United. There's about 4 or 5 different entities now in Chester that's bringing soccer around here. My job is to just make it go further than what it looked like before. So if we have a soccer Saturday, you might mess around and come to that field, and there's a whole festival out there.
Yeah.
There'll be a whole carnival sitting out there for everybody to come in and enjoy it. So my job is to make sure that what you see right now, it won't look the same about 6 months. I can guarantee that. So my job now is to make sure that, if by coming here, I wanted to help out with this program because I'm very, very thankful for you even allowing me to come over here and say anything.
Oh, bro, I'm thankful.
It just shocked me because as I was going to do my recruiting, he just said, yo, I do a radio show, and you want to come on? I said,
that's how it's supposed to be.
I said, it was no question. It was no question. I said, hell yeah. Because this is a prime opportunity for not just for this program, but just for Chester in general. To be able to see, hear, and see who the person is, the face behind the conversation, what it's going to have to look like.
Bro, both of y'all, I'm super humble. Thank y'all so much, man, for choosing to come on my show and allowing this opportunity for me to just speak with y'all and bust it up and allowing our audience to see you guys. And I love this, man. I love what I do. I love my platform. I'm genuinely humbled that I now have this personal connection with y'all.
If you ever need me to come back again.
Dude.
You're right.
Yeah, man, listen, Listen, I'm always looking for people to come on, even if it's a Coles. Like literally, I had Aaron come and. Bro, and this was supposed to be 15 minutes, and like, bro, you can hang around if you like. Stay if you want. I don't want you to feel rushed, but bro, the opportunity is here. This is what this platform is for. This is what CMP does.
This is dope.
This is what CMP does, bro. I always say, big shout out to Uncle P, man. This changed my life.
Big shout out.
He gave me a platform that I never thought about doing this, bro. I was on there with Kicking It with C's that one time. I did my first show, and I had to grow a lot, right? But I'm grateful that I had somebody like P in my corner to be like, yo, that's not you. Tighten that up, change this. And the moment that I listened, the moment that, I changed, bro, I started interviewing everybody. And now I'm getting phone calls. Right. And that's the dope part. It's dope when I see kids or moms ride by, dads dropping their kids off. Like, is that Josh from WWJD? Is that him? So it's dope to get that feeling. Thank y'all so much, man. I love y'all, black men. Pleasure. I genuinely mean that, man. Thank y'all for what y'all doing in the community. Aaron, I'm bringing them kids there. We gonna figure this out. And it's at the CAT Center. Coach, you got 5 tickets. Yep. Let's make that work. Yes, the 24th, everybody is meeting up at City Hall at 9 o'clock. Please, the game starts around 12. If you know anything about college football, Rutgers is a big deal. It's a top 10 school. So this is going to be an awesome game. It's Iowa versus Rutgers. It's free, y'all. It's free.
And just another
the experience of being on campus is free.
One other thing I want to jump in for you, just on that same note, the Army-Navy game at the Union Field, I'm probably going to have some tickets for that too.
Bro, please let me know. WWJ.
I would like to bring a nice amount.
The last time, and shout out to Gio, because that's who I picked them up from. I went to Gio. I think Gio gave me probably like 40-something tickets. I had like 40 tickets that I gave out to community members. Just go see our soccer stadium.
I went to that same game. I went to that game.
Yep. I think I might have seen you. Yeah, down in Union.
Yeah, I never even been in there yet.
Yo, so you guys,
That was my first time, bro.
Yo, I'm trying to tell you, man, that if you have not gone.
Yeah, I want to go. I got a couple other players following me. I took some drone shots of it, and they all start following me.
It's definitely an opportunity, I think.
So I know my one of my bosses probably watching me at the other gig, and I'm coming, y'all. But yo, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much. We definitely gonna do this again.
You already know.
This is dope, man. 3 black men from our community just sitting up here, busting it up, man, giving out great vibes. Shout out again to all the people that have supported me. Shout out to the people that's helping me with the trip so far. Like I said, Will Morgan, Dave Galuch, he's running for Congress. Talk to him every day. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Carol Kazim. The 24th, I will be live. I will be hosting that live part of that event. Please, I know it's hard times and we don't got a lot, but we got to get it there, right? And anybody that we want there, we have to do everything we can to get there. I'm not big on the Republican-Democrat thing. I'm big on people. She's somebody who I had a pleasure of sitting down with, talking to, plucking her brain. And so she's somebody who I trust here on WWJD. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Please continue to tune in. Look out for all my special interview segments. It's coming up next week. You check out my posts. My page is open, so it's public. So always go check out my posts. I'm constantly posting about my special interview segments. Look out for a documentary that's coming out in the beginning of the year. So I've been doing a lot of interviews for that too that people haven't got to see yet. But that's dope. And we love y'all, man. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Till next time.
Peace.